once again to our Wednesday Wellness webinar. Today, we will be discussing another topic. So for the Rainbow of Health, we're done discussing it last week. So this week, we will be discussing or the topic would be you are what you eat. So in life, in order for us to be healthy, we have to eat with choice and food that matters. So we will be discussing three diseases, and we will share, or I will be sharing to you what are those food or triggering foods. So first is hypertension. So I know most of you here knows about hypertension. So hypertension is a high blood pressure, and it is a condition in which the blood vessels have persistently raised pressure that is above the normal range. So what you eat can affect your blood pressure. So let's say the blood pressure right now is 120 over 80. So you will be tagged as hypertensive if your blood pressure is already 130 over 90, 140. So sometimes the blood pressure will matter also if you are eating more fats or more salty foods. So these are the food that we have to track since the food that we eat can trigger hypertension. So these are salt, high calories foods, oily foods. So we really need to track it so that our blood pressure will not reach that high, and we will not be diagnosed as hypertensive. So we have DASH diet. So mostly if you will be diagnosed as hypertensive or ma-admit ka sa hospital, you will be having a DASH diet. So it is dietary approaches stop hypertension. So this is a standard DASH diet that you can consume 1 teaspoon of salt a day. So 1 teaspoon, guys, gaano lang yan kaliit. So ibig sabihin, if you're hypertensive, we have to really take salt in moderation, or kailangan talaga natin siyang i-minimize para at least we can adapt a healthy food pattern and to prevent heart and blood vessel problems. Kasi nga, the complication for this is heart attack or sometimes pulmonary failure kasi nga yung blood clot, pwede siya mag-travel sa lungs natin, and there's a tendency na hindi na tayo makakahinga, and worst case scenario is death. Now, lower sodium DASH diet. So this is the second type of DASH diet that you can apply, or the hospital is applying. So we can consume up to 3/4 teaspoon of salt per day. So if you have been diagnosed with a high blood pressure, yung tipong hindi na siya bumababa, consistent na siya, and then you have already a swelling, edema of feet, and then you have already a heart failure. This also includes kidney failure kasi nga yung heart mo mag-overwork and your kidney mo mag-overwork din. So this is ideal for you guys for lower sodium DASH diet. So 3/4 teaspoon salt lang talaga ang pwede mo ma-consume per day yon. So some of the hypertensive patient, they are using teaspoons or measuring spoons para they can maintain this 3/4 teaspoon salt per day. So also, of course, it will always be assisted by the dietitian and the doctor para yung monitoring ng mga patient natin is consistent, and makikita nila if may improvement naman or wala. So for food included in a daily diet, so of course, as what we have discussed in the previous weeks, we have to include vegetables, fruits, low fat or fat free, dairy, whole grains, lean meat, fish and poultry, nuts, seeds, and legumes. So my times, or as what Nurse Claudine mentioned last time, na may mga nuts, seeds, or legumes na hindi din po pwede sa mga hypertensive, especially for those may mga kidney failures kasi nga yung kidney will tend to overwork. So may mga exemption din naman. So food to be kept to a minimum. So of course, if you love salt, we have to minimize it. Sugar or sweets, chocolates dyan, sino yung mga chocolates lovers? If you tend to have a high blood pressure, You have to minimize it. And then fatty meat. So if you will eat meat, kailangan wala siyang fats. Chicken skin is also a fat if you are fond of eating it. So you have to remove it. Kailangan talaga yung meat niya lang mismo. And then saturated on or trans fats. So saturated, ito yung mga good fats like omega-3, omega-6 from the fish naman. Recommended daily servings. Vegetables, so we have to include 45 servings. So one serving is 250 milligrams or ml, equivalent to 1 cup. And then raw green leafy vegetables, which is 125 ml, equivalent to 1/2 cup. And then pwede na siyang cook or pwede mo siyang i-steam. Puwede siyang examples naman diyan is broccoli, carrots, tomatoes, sweet potatoes, avocados, mushrooms, Brussels sprouts, spinach, and other green or veggies. Yung carrots natin, we can also make it as a carrot juice. Pwede din siya. And then advantages. What are the advantages? So vegetables are packed with potassium, magnesium, as well as fiber and vitamins. So fruits, sa fruits naman, 45 servings. One serving is equivalent to one medium piece of fruit, 1 cup fresh frozen or canned fruit. So I would highly recommend fresh fruits tayo. And then examples naman dyan are bananas, apples, grapes, berries if meron, lemons, pineapples, apricots, tomato, oranges, etc. So yung fruits kasi natin, it promotes good source of fiber, potassium, magnesium, and low in fat. And if you go for canned fruit or juice, make sure na wala siyang sugar added. So, para siyang fresh fruit na nakakad. And of course, fruits also can induces skin elasticity. And if mahilig ka ng fruits, maganda yung skin mo. Grains. So, mainly whole grains. So, 6 to 8 servings. So one serving is equivalent to one slice whole wheat bread, 125 ml or 1/2 cup. Cooked rice, pasta, or cereals. So wag nating pagsabayin yung rice plus pasta kasi medyo mabigat na talaga yun. So if you will eat pasta, pasta lang. If you will eat rice, rice. Or if you will eat bread, bread. And examples of that are bread, wheat, brown rice, pasta, oats. I would like to add red rice or black rice. Maganda din yun sa katawan and it's high in fiber. And then low fat and nutrient dense with many essential vitamins and minerals such as iron, B complex or vitamin B, and zinc. For the dairy products, also dapat ang dairy products natin, it should be low fat. So 2 to 3 servings. So one serving is equivalent to 1 cup of skimmed milk or low-fat yogurt. So pag bibili kayo sa groceries, you have to check the nutrition facts, yung nasa likod, if anong contain or anong content ng food na binibili natin. And then we have examples for that are milk, yogurt, and cheese as long as it's low fat. Advantages. So dairy provides plenty of calcium, protein, and vitamin D. However, aim for low fat or fat-free dairy since dairy can otherwise be loaded with fat. So that's why you have to really check the nutrition facts before you buy your food. So lean meat, poultry, and fish. 2 servings or less. One serving is equivalent to 3 ounces of lean meat, poultry, and fish. So, ibig sabihin, lean meat siya, wala siyang kasamang fats. And then note, the area of your palm covers your ounces of meat. So, ito lang dapat. Examples, chicken, fish, egg. And then advantages, meat is rich source of protein, iron, vitamin B, and zinc. Take heart-healthy fish such as tuna, salmon, and herring, which has omega-3 fatty acids to reduce your bad cholesterol. And of course, sardines, maganda din siya sa omega-3. Meron ding omega-6. So nuts, seeds, and legumes. So 4 to 5 servings per week. So that's not per day, that's per week. So one serving is equivalent to 1/3 cup nuts or 2 tablespoons seeds, 1/2 cup cooked beans or peas. So either sa'yo kung cook na ba siya or i-toast mo lang siya. And then examples for that are almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds, maganda ang sunflower seeds, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils, and peanuts. So of course, pag gusto nyong healthy, you can steam lang itong mga nuts. Huwag niyo siyang i-fried. Kung i-fried niyo, dapat yung oil niyo is hindi siya yung fatty oil. May mga ganong oils tayo. You just have to check the nutrition facts. Advantages. Seeds and legumes are good source of protein, which is good for the muscles. Magnesium and potassium, which is good for the muscles also, and it enhances the activity of our heart. And then they are also protective against certain types of cancer and cardiovascular diseases due to their phytochemicals content. So yung potassium talaga, number one nutrient na nakaka-contribute ng pumping ng muscles natin, ay ng heart natin, or nagbibigay siya ng strength sa mga muscles natin. So fats and oils, so 2 to 3 servings per day, one serving, 1 tablespoon or vegetable oil. So number one is olive oil, so canola oil, safflower, sunflower, and soybean. So na-try ko na yung olive oil, maganda siya, hindi siya oily. Sunflower and soybean, mabango yung oil nila pag nagto-toast ka ng mga food. And then advantages, fat helps your body immune system and allows you to absorb vitamins. So of course, kailangan natin ng konting fats para at least it's a combining agent kasi ng mga vitamins natin in order for our immune system to work properly. Too much fat, so ika nga nila, 'pag sobra hindi na siya maganda. It increases naman your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and obesity, or worst case, magkakaroon ka ng clotting sa blood vessel. So, hindi talaga maganda yung too much fat. So, keep away from trans fat found commonly in processed and fried food. So, number one example natin is yung mga kinakain natin sa outside, or tawag nito, yung mga food na binibili natin ng mga instant. Mga french fries, mga burgers, nandun may mga trans fats yun. So health benefits of DASH diet. So it reduces blood pressure, of course, kasi nga controlled yung kinakain natin, lalo na yung salt. And then lowers bad cholesterol and increases good cholesterol. So sa body natin, meron tayong bad, meron din tayong good cholesterol. So kailangan yung good cholesterol natin ang dadami. It's because yung effect niya is maganda, and then helps in weight management. So if you are obese or overweight, yung DASH diet natin is highly recommended. Diabetes. So it is a disease that occurs when your blood glucose is too high or above normal level. So ang diabetes natin, I know na naririnig nyo or parang common na lang sa atin, kasi si diabetes and si hypertension para silang magkapatid. So kung nauna naman si diabetes, susunod si hypertension. Kung nauna naman si hypertension, susunod si diabetes. So hindi talaga yan sila naghihiwalay. So what are the types of diabetes? So we have two, type 1 and type 2. So for type 1, your body does make insulin. Your immune system attacks and destroys the cells in your pancreas that makes insulin. So in autoimmune ang type 1 diabetes, which is very rare lang. Unlike with the type 2 diabetes, so your body does make or use your insulin well, you can develop type 2 diabetes at any age. So even during childhood, so diyan papasok yung juvenile diabetes. So minsan, yung women naman, they tend to have diabetes when they are pregnant. So sometimes nagkakaroon na sila ng diabetes talaga after their pregnancy. So if you have gestational diabetes, you have a greater chance of developing type 2 diabetes. So that's why yung diabetes na to, minsan nakukuha natin sa lifestyle natin. Sometimes genetic din ang type 2 diabetes. So what are the meal planning for diabetes? So a meal plan is your guide for when, what, and how much to eat to get the nutrition you need while keeping your blood sugar levels in your target range. So plate method. So the plate method is a simple visual way to make sure you get enough non-starchy vegetables and lean protein and limit the amount of higher carbs that has greatest potential to spike your blood sugar. So pag mataas yung carbohydrates natin, kasi yung carbohydrates, yung end product niya is glucose, which gives energy to our body. So pag medyo mataas yung amount nun, yung blood glucose natin tumataas din. So eating healthier with diabetes. So healthy choices can be affordable choices. So we just have to be careful with the food that we eat. So for the fruits, ano yung mga fruits? How can I enjoy fruit and control my blood sugar? So try fresh fruits, canned fruits in their own juice, and plain frozen fruit for a treat. So ibig sabihin, fresh fruits lang talaga kasi yung fruits na yung sugar na meron sa fruits natin are hindi bad yung effect ng katawan natin, mabilis lang siyang ma-process. For the vegetables, we can try in-season vegetables or plain frozen and canned vegetables. So we can backtrack or we can view the previous presentation that we have for what are the fruits or vegetables that is good for diabetes also. For grains naman, kailangan smaller portions lang. So one package could be many servings na. And then I would recommend naman sa diabetes, you can go with the brown rice or red or black rice kasi hindi mataas yung carbohydrates nila. For proteins, meat can be expensive. What other protein can I eat? So you can use or you can eat nuts, beans, canned fish, and eggs. Pwede yon. And then for the dairy products, what kind of dairy is healthy choice? So you can try also skim or 1% milk and non-fat yogurt. So dapat wala siyang fats din, just like with the hypertension kasi nga magkapatid sila. Pag nasobraan mo naman yung fatty intake mo, yung end product naman nun is hypertension. So for the dinner plate, we can start with the 9-inch dinner plate. So first half with non-starchy vegetables such as salad, green beans, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and carrots. So as what you can see on the screen, meron siyang non-starchy vegetables. And then on the other side, you can fill 1/4 with a lean protein such as chicken, turkey, beans, tofu, or egg. So any lean protein or lean meat na pwede mong ilagay. And then on the other part naman or sa lower part, yung grain foods or starchy vegetables. So you can put tomatoes, rice, or pasta, or you can skip starch altogether and double up your non-starchy vegetables. So pwede na yung grain mo, palitan mo pa rin siya ng potatoes lang, walang rice, walang pastas. That could work also. Now, for the portion size, so just like me, I'm not good in math at hindi din ako expert sa mga measuring cup or measuring spoons. For aside from using that one, we can use the portion size by using our hands. So for 3 ounces of meat, fish, or poultry, so we can use our palm. So ito lang. No fingers included. And then 1 ounce of meat or cheese. So thumb, ito lang siya, tip to base lang, dito lang hanggang dito. Ito yon. 1 cup of 1 medium yung fruits, pwedeng fist lang natin. So pwede siyang ganyan. And then for 1 to 2 ounces of nuts or pretzels, so 1 cup hand, ito siya. So hindi dapat siya nakaumbok, parang level lang. Yung nuts or pretzels natin, level lang siya, hindi nakaumbok. And then for 1 tablespoon, thumb tip lang. So ito lang siya. Ito lang pwede nating gawin if ito yung measurement ng 1 tablespoon. For 1 teaspoon naman, um, this is for the fingertip. Ito lang siya. 1 teaspoon. Ito. So next is the hyperacidity. So hyperacidity is a common illness or chief complaint sa BPO kasi nga most of the employees are consuming coffee most of the time. Sometimes if not coffee, they are eating chocolates. Why? It's because coffee and chocolates, it helps them to be awake lalo na pag kulang sila sa tulog. So, um, gano'n yung kinakain nila or gano'n yung routine nila. Pero, at the end of the day or ang result naman noon is hyperacidity. It could be, you're taking coffee 2 years na wala ka pang hyperacidity. Well, good for you. Pero dadating din talaga yung time na magkakaroon ka ng hyperacidity if you are really, your daily routine mo is umiinom ka ng coffee without taking food. Now, paano ba nagko-cause ng hyperacidity? So, it caused by excess acid in our stomach. So, our stomach produces acid in order to facilitate digestion of our food. It happens during nag-iinom tayo ng coffee. Kasi yung coffee, ang ginagawa niyan is walang laman yung tiyan natin. Iinom tayo ng coffee. Ang ginagawa ng coffee, yung esophagus natin, pinapaliit niya or kino-constrict and it tends to feel us full. Parang busog na tayo kahit wala na tayong kinain. And then hindi natin alam, yung tiyan natin pala, nagsisikret na siya ng acid kasi to digest food. So now, pag ganun yung magiging routine natin every day, every year, so it tends na yung acid sa tiyan natin, aakyat na siya. So, pag sumobra na yung acid sa tiyan natin, that's the time na you will be having hyperacidity. So sometimes ay ina-advise ko sa mga employees, if you're really fond of drinking coffee, you have to eat first and then after eating, saka kayo uminom ng coffee para at least maida-digest yung tiyan nyo. So what are the triggering foods? So ito na, regular consumption of spicy and fatty food without eating anything, and then skipping meals and irregular eating habits. So sometimes yung mga nagda-diet, they tend to have hyperacidity kasi nga pag hindi tama yung pagda-diet natin or nagsiskip lang tayo ng meals kasi gusto nating magpapayat, gusto lang natin lumiit yung tiyan. So hindi talaga siya effective kapag we are not really guided. And then irregular eating habits. So let's say hindi ka nag-breakfast, nag-brunch ka na lang. So high risk ka for having hyperacidity. And then fasting and starving. So if you are planning to have a fasting, I would suggest, let's say bukas yung schedule ng fasting mo. Tonight, you have to prepare your stomach. So, hindi ka nakakain ng rice, you have to eat soft food muna, and then kinabukasan, saka ka magfa-fasting. So, saka ka muna maglalasan ng intake. Gradual dapat. Kasi yung tiyan mo, sanay siya na may kinakain. So, pag wala ka ng kinakain, dumiretso kang putol ng food mo, there's a tendency na yung acid ng tiyan mo, mag-i-secrete talaga ng maraming um, acid para or kasi wala kang feeling nila may kinakain ka kahit tubig lang yung iniinom mo, magse-secrete pa rin sila ng acid. And then next is alcoholic drinks and smoking. So yung alcoholic and smoking, meron silang content that increases your stomachs or your acidity kaya hindi talaga advised na mag-smoke or mag-inom ng alcoholic beverages without eating. And the next is caffeine, soft drinks, and acidic beverages. So of course, given na yan, acidic siya. And then stress, yung list sa lahat. Pag stress ka, you tend to have walang ganang kumain, hindi ka wala kang urge to eat kasi nga sobrang stress mo. So yun, high risk din yun sa hyperacidity. Sometimes lack of sleep also contributes hyperacidity. So, the next level ng hyperacidity, kapag na-diagnose ka, next is gastroesophageal reflux disease or acid reflux. So, ibig sabihin yung acid mo umaakyat na siya dito sa may chest part. So, pag ganon, kailangan meron ka ng routine or meron kang small frequent feeding na. So let's say 9 a.m. kumain ka. And of course, you have to minimize oily foods para at least kasi yung oily foods or mga fats na kinakain natin, um, kailangan ng maraming acid yon. So, pag maraming acid, aatakihin ka ng hyperacidity mo. So, for example, kumain ka ng 9 a.m. So, 11 a.m., so after 2 hours, you have to eat fruits or any meal na konti lang para at least hindi ka magutuman. Kasi ang 4 hours talaga yung normal digestion ng kinakain natin. Pero sa hyperacidity, after 2 hours, nangangalam na yung tiyan nila. So they really need to eat and hindi sila pwedeng ma-starve in a long period of time. And then after 11 a.m., 1 p.m., pwede kang kumain ng rice or anything na puwede mong or gusto mong kainin and then pagka 4 PM na naman you can, adjust na. So, puwede na siyang after 3 or 4 hours saka ka kumain and then after 4 hours ulit, you can eat another, food. And then kinagabihan, of course, before you sleep, you have to make it sure na hindi gano'n kabigat yung kinain mo at night kasi there's a tendency na da-digest na naman yung tiyan mo because of, sa madaming or sa maraming pagkain na kinain mo that night. And then on the right side, ito yung um, measurement ng food na pwede nating ma-intake. So for total fat, 15 to 20 grams lang talaga siya, maliit lang. And then for the calcium, we have 600. For the sodium, we have 1200. For the carbohydrates, 260 grams. For the protein, 40 grams. And then for the iron, 17 milligrams. So, kailangan ang total calories natin a day kung may acid reflux is 1,600 or 1,600 calories. So, these are the food that we have to avoid if you have hyperacidity. So, avoid processed and fermented food kasi pag fermented siya, medyo maasim yun. So, sinaluan ng vinegar. And then, avoid tea, coffee, carbonated, or alcoholic beverages kasi nakaka-trigger siya ng hyperacidity. Yung tea, bakit kasama siya? Kasi yung tea, may mga content ng teas na caffeine. So, of course, ang caffeine, andyan din sa coffee. So we have to minimize that and then avoid using garlic, ginger, onions, tomatoes, and vinegar in cooking. So yung tipong mga sobrang spicy naman, we have to minimize. And then vinegar, hindi talaga po pwede. Pineapple juice, hindi siya po pwede kapag walang laman yung tiyan natin. Ayan, curd should be strictly avoided at night kasi nga, ano 'to, dairy products. So 'pag dairy products, high in fat. 'Pag high in fat, ng maraming acid yung tiyan. So magkakaroon ka ng hyperacidity. And then avoid rich gravies, sour, salty, and spicy foods. And then take meals in a relaxed atmosphere at regular intervals. So you can use the small frequent feeding, just what I mentioned earlier, you every after 2 hours or every 3 to 4 hours, yon. Pero pwede mo siyang baliktarin, lalo na pag active ka, you can do it every 2 hours pag gising ka. Pero pag at night, pwede ng kahit light meal lang. So we have to increase intake of the following: bananas, watermelon, papaya, and apples. So itong mga to, they are rich in antioxidant and it helps digestion, lalo na yung papaya natin, high in fiber. And then yung apple natin, they have probiotic effect sa tiyan natin. And then the watermelon, of course, it helps us to hydrate. And then, may ano din siya, may agent din siya na if you are an acidic, if you are eating watermelon, alkaline kasi yung watermelon. So, it lowers down the acid. And then for the banana naman, meron siyang effect on our gastrointestinal effect. wherein it helps also to minimize the secretion ng acid. So, yung banana kailangan kakainin siya after meal or kung kakainin mo siya before meal, sundan mo dapat siya ng food. So, that would be all for today. So, do you have any questions or clarifications? So if done, for next week, this is a continuation of our topic for today. So we will be discussing what are also the food that will trigger for cholecystitis or cholelithiasis and for the arthritis. So if you don't have any questions, so you can reach us at 420 or you can send us a message at APOSI Clinic Team. And thank you for your time, guys, and have a great day. Bye.